Why do you love property investing so much? Or maybe you can share with us the first and the most memorable memory of yours buying your first property.
For the scary one, I think I've been so pressured under that purchase, right? And the outcome was totally out of expectation. It turned out pretty badly to that extent that I need to go AKPK, right? To really settle loan. And at that time only, I understood AKPK does not help with housing loans. And it put me in a very, very trouble situation where I need to consider every time I go and pump petrol, because I don't have a credit card at all. So I exactly knew how much I had in the bank. And when you go to petrol station, you put the card in, right? They will surcharge like 200 first upfront, then they'll return you back the balance. I cannot afford even that. But then if I just play it out, I think like it was like 4 to 5 years after the incident already. Once I recovered all my finances, I'm immediately back into the game because I just know the benefits that comes with it. It's a very, very long game. And for every property, I roughly only need to work once a year.
What
So that's
do
how
you
I
mean
look
by
in
that?
property
Can you
investment.
explain further on, like for every property you need to work once?
Let's say I have property A. I bought a unit and I furnished it and I rent it out. So let's say the tenancy agreement is a year, right? So for that year, I'm pretty much covered in terms of installment, right? So it's going to be like maybe like a 24 or 28,000 contract, annual contract. Then I will just sign this contract, then property B as well, property C, D, E. Then when property A's tenancy ends, I will need to go and touch up the unit to get it ready for the next tenant to sign another business contract. So that's how I look in investment. It's somewhat like a business. You really need to put in money, you need to put in time to really run it as a business. Not like I like this property, that's why I buy it because it looks cool. The swimming pool I really, really love. No such thing. So you really, really need to just drill down into numbers, right? And be very rational about the decision making. Yeah, so like every year you just work once, you get a 12-month contract. Just imagine that if you're a salesperson, right, you just service 5 clients per year, and you just need to see them once a year. That's how I look into property investment. This was taught by my boss in the makeover guys as well. So that's how he sees it as well. So like it's like a person or a customer that pays off your loan for you. So let's say I just need 30 customers to pay off my loan in a lifetime. That's so cool, man. So 30 years later, right, my house pay off already. So this is another way of thinking of properties, meaning I buy with zero, even I somewhat expect zero capital appreciation. 30 years later, right, I still make money, man. Because what's the capital outlay that I put out? Maybe like 20,000. But in the end, I get like a 500,000 property in the end. Okay, ma.
One thing that you want our audience to actually just get up and get it done right now, what would that be?
To have accountability in whatever decisions that you make, whether to work your face off in making some passion of yours work, or to just sit and chill watching TV, watching Netflix, entirely up to you. Because this came from the story where I was often judged for being too extreme in working, in having no work-life balance, in having no mercy for friendship or whatsoever. I was pretty clear, because when you are at pit bottom, whatever friendship also meh, right? So you only have yourself to blame all the time. And if you are not putting in the effort, don't blame why success didn't happen to you. That include research on Bitcoin, crypto, and now I'm actually looking at NFTs as well. So if you didn't do the homework, you didn't put in the 30 or 50 hours of research, you will never ever come close to understanding what are those. And this is also somewhat inspired by my cousin that is doing a lot of homework on Pokemon cards. So he has made pretty good decisions on the cards and he made money. So to me, that really like broke my belief system, right? Everything can make money, just that how well you are educated in that manner. And I hope that really resonates with the audience. So you can enjoy whatever you want. There's a difference between being in work, right, on a weekend versus a cafe filled with jazz music and a cafe, you don't really understand what the coffee bean source is, just to have that Instagram to impress people that might kind of check you out. Yeah, it's really a decision to make. And I prefer to choose the first one when I'm younger, and I'm totally fine with overworking during my 20s at all. So back then I was 9 to 9, working almost every day. And I don't see anything wrong with it. Really, I don't see anything wrong with it. And now I'm even working more. When you know whatever effort put in, right, will somewhat turn out good. Will you put in more now today? Definitely, ma. So that's what I really believe in. So when 10 years ago, I worked really hard for that apartment, now it's really giving me a lot of returns. Based on what I expect 10 years from now, I need to work even harder today. So having the accountability for what you want, right? You need to have the action to match that expectation. And that is often the time not realized for the younger crowds, unfortunately.
So that is exactly that one thing that you will actually tell yourself like many, many years back then, right? If you could have the chance to start.
Until today, I still think that I'm slacking.
Right.
I still think that I can work harder. I can work smarter by having a full-time job, then still run the YouTube channel, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever you call it, right? I still think I'm slacking. I can still do more, because you look at whatever situations that we have right now, it's only already a situation that I would crave for in the past. Now, the current life that I have right now is like that other people will want. So since I'm in this situation, right, it's only sensible to pursue more, but in the direction of happiness, not really like a lot of money lah. Money, it's just a figure, but I really want happiness, fulfillment and things like that.
Then how do you handle not stressing yourself too much and at the same time still not stop pursuing? Wouldn't be hard to balance?
Like for example, when I wake up like 5:30 today, the first thing is I turn on my laptop and start editing videos. So it's no longer a job. You find joy in doing that, and fortunately enough, that brings me enough attention from everybody. That's how we got together, and that bring me enough wealth as well. So some things make money from there, and I think it's the best feeling ever. So one of the audience told me like months ago, I'm in this state of ikigai. Ikigai is a state where you are doing whatever you are passionate about, and you get paid for it, and you feel very fulfilled doing it. So it's a very nice spot to be in. And back then when I was in the corporate world, I never knew this state would ever exist because of our education system. Then if you're working for other people, you can only dream of it. Because there's no accountability. Anything wrong is always the boss, right? Or if anything wrong is always the control, it's never you. So you will never be able to really reap whatever good decisions that you made. That's why in investment as well. So if you pull the trigger and invest yourself, and it like quadruple, right? You feel very good. But when you put into something that your friends say very good and it drop value, right? It's never your fault one. It's still somebody else. I follow him. No, hey. So when you start blaming yourself, you start like, okay, it's my fault for believing in him. Then only you can improve. Again, back to that accountability part, right?
Right. Thank you for all your sharing. Thank you for being on the show.
No
we
problem.
Hope to probably see you again in the next show, probably.
No problem. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thank you, PodCats, for listening. Thanks for being with us for 1 hour. I hope you get a lot of informative knowledge from Iherng. If there's not one key thing that to take away from a session, definitely would be the last few things that you mentioned, which is to have accountability in everything that you do and everything that you want. It's always so easy to blame others, but it's only when you only have yourself to blame, that's when you take action to achieve everything that you want in life. All right. You can find the show notes and links on our show notes as usual, mypf.my/PodCat, and I'll see you in the next episode. Hasta pronto.